Welcome to Rick's Corner. I have Jim Arrington back, who was here, what is it, quite a while ago?
Yeah, about a year ago.
About a year ago, and he just turned 85. He's still competing. He's still in great shape, so there's no excuse for any of you out there to say, I'm too old to work out, I just don't feel good. And even in your 40s, you're falling apart. I hear this all the time. But at 85, he can still do it and train hard and look like this. Anybody can. And by the way, last night, I don't know, did you watch the Emmys?
No, I didn't.
Well, Jane Fonda was on. Jane Fonda is 79. I swear she looks 40. She is beautiful. And so other women say, well, she's had all this cosmetic surgery. Well, okay, so what? She's had a few things done to her face, but her body looks dynamic, and she's been in fitness since she was 18 years old.
Yeah, I understand she has.
Yeah, she had workout videos way back when. So her lifestyle is like yours and mine and Jim's. You work out, you watch your nutrition, and you live a long time and you stay in shape. And that's the key to this whole thing. All right, so you're 85, and you just competed in a contest.
Yes, it was the Pittsburgh Pro Masters, and I competed as in the over 70s and in the over 80. Yep. And I was fortunately the only competitor in the over 80s, and so I won that by default.
Yeah, won it by default, but you would have won it anyway. There's not many guys today training in their 70s and 80s other than you and I. And I mean, there might be a couple of them, but it takes a lot of work at this age. Well, I
am the oldest IFBB pro, and I'm also the Guinness World Record holder.
I wanted to ask about that.
For as the oldest bodybuilder.
How'd that come about?
Jason Ellis decided that he's done a lot of videos with me, and he's seen me competing in over 80. And he said, I haven't seen anybody else competing over 80. I did three shows as NPC and won all of them. Mm-hmm. And because I was the only competitor, of course. And so he negotiated with the Guinness World Records people, and they sent us an email once and said, we're delighted that you're selected as the world's oldest bodybuilder. And they sent me a certificate, which we framed.
This is so cool. Let me say something about Jason Ellis. I met Jason through Leroy, mm-hmm. and I have to say that Jason, if you're watching, he is one of the nicest guys in the world.
Absolutely.
He knows a little bit about everything. He knows a lot about everything. He's always willing to help. He's helped me out immensely with the YouTube, with my ring out where the covers. And Jason, I really appreciate you. You are one awesome guy. The whole world should be like you, and I'm really serious about that. He is a really good man.
He is. In fact, it was his tie-up, his connection with Leroy Colbert that got me in with him.
Yeah.
He said to Leroy, there's a guy that's in his 80s that's competing, mm-hmm. and Leroy says, I want to meet him. Yeah. So they did. And there's a big there's some stuff that Jason has on the YouTube. And did about a 45-minute interview, and but he broke up into many sections.
Sure, he's good at that. He does a real good job.
And he's always been very.
Do you know the name of his YouTube?
Yes, it is Mr. Yorkie Lovers Fitness.com.
Yeah, you guys need to go to watch Jason. Mr. Yorkie Lover Fitness.com. He's got some good videos up there.
He said he did a play thing for getting for the new Guinness, right? Trying to get it, update the record.
Yeah.
And he says I now have 70 titles.
Oh, that's awesome. Good for him.
Yeah.
Good for him. He's a hardworking guy.
And then of course, with the one that really got me started aside from you is the one I did with Rich Piana about 3 years ago. Mm-hmm. And it got up to, well, I thought it was pretty good, 300,000 hits.
Yeah, it would. Those big numbers.
And the thing was, if I could tell you this little story.
Yes. Tell it to them. They want to.
Oh, okay.
I'll listen in.
Okay. At the, it was the third time for winning for going for the National Masters over 80. Which I did in three successive years. Just before that show, about 2 weeks, we did a little workout and a little interview about hormone replacement. It was just a 2-minute interview, and the number of hits was amazing. But so when I went back there, I did the show and got the nice interview with the beautiful woman. when you get interviewed.
Yeah, it's like ringside interviews.
Yeah, and except they do it with they always have a beautiful interviewer. This time it was Linda Andrew, and so the next day I was at the pre-judging for the next event that they were having, because it was a multi-day event, and there was this guy taking pictures right in front, and he was official. He saw me. He came over and congratulated me and told me that he was with Muscular Development, and what he was doing was taking a picture of everybody that was competing and putting it on the internet in real time.
Oh, live.
Yeah. And then he said, "You'll be happy to know that since last night and this morning, you've had 10,000 hits."
Oh my God!
And he says, that's more hits than anybody else in the competition so far. In fact, he says, it's more than everybody put together.
That is amazing.
And that is amazing. So I was thinking about kind of retiring, because I have a beautiful wife at home that I neglect, I think. And so, but when I heard that, I started, well, maybe I should rethink this.
No, stay as long as you can. Make it to 90 and do it again. Why not? Do you suffer from? You had a hip injury, was it?
No. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And in fact, for those 3 and 4 years, I had a really bad hip. I could hardly get on the stage.
Yeah.
I had last year I had a cane all the time, and they didn't have to help me on the stage, but I was obviously limping. Yeah. And so then in October, I got a replacement, hip replacement at Kaiser with Dr. Kata, and he really did a good job on me. In fact, he even cut me in such a way that I didn't leave much of a scar.
No, they're so good at it.
I was a bodybuilder.
That's right. They're so good at it. It's just an amazing thing. With my knee, the same thing, no problem. Do you find it hard, this is a question I ask older guys, to maintain muscle mass?
Oh, yeah, sure. There's no question about it. Well, look at me. It's ridiculous. You've got to, and I've always tried to, Ken Waller told me in 1975, when I asked him, "Ken, what's the secret of bodybuilding?" Because, he was number 2 when Arnold was number 1. Yeah. There was Arnold and everybody else, but everybody else's, Ken Waller was the top guy. Mr. Universe in 1975. That's the last time they actually had it called Mr. Universe. Right. And so he said, "Jim, the secret to bodybuilding is do what works for you." Well, yeah, what's the secret? But that's it. And so I've been trying to figure out what works for me, and everything works a little while, but it's just hard to say. And when you want to get your muscle mass, believe me, it goes away. It goes away.
Well, there's a couple ways to look at this. I'm with you. You do what works for you. I do what works for me, too. I know that my arms coming back to where they were, I'm having a difficult time. I can't curl 65-pound dumbbells anymore. I do 25 or 30s. I'm really lucky. And I think I need to go heavier in order to do something. But that's not the whole issue. Grabbing the weights to curl, my wrists hurt and my shoulders hurt. And there's something and I think the bicep tendon goes under the shoulder. When you curl and you go up, your shoulder pulls down. It just hurts like mad. So it's hard to get through that. The size in my chest and back, I have no problem with. Shoulders, not quite as much. But it does make a difference as you're older. And I think, is your eating the same? Are you eating the same amount of food or no?
Oh, yeah.
Is it hard to eat a lot of food?
Well, I don't eat a lot of food.
I don't either.
I don't eat 6 big meals a day or 8 to wait.
But some of the guys do.
Oh, yeah. But no, it does seem to be. But the thing of it is, my problem is that I can gain weight, but most of it's fat. And then when you train down because the abs come in the last for me. Yeah. And so when you train down, everything else seems to do.
Well, that's true. But let me say something. You walked up to my door, and I've known you for how many years? Like 40 years?
Yeah, quite a while.
And 85 years old, and you look fantastic. And for you guys out there that say to me or him, "Oh, you guys aren't big anymore," you don't have to be. No. You need to be in shape, and you're in shape. And if someone looked at you and say, "Wow, what an athlete! You must work out every day." We know all this. Yeah. But that's the key. doesn't have to be 230 pounds of muscle mass. You just need to be hard in shape.
Yeah, that's right. And that's what that is absolutely true. And you see the people who are like that, and who have been large and big and everything, and they live. The rest of them don't.
Yes, that's right. The rest of them don't live. Now, on your diet, you eat pretty basic, simple foods.
I drink. Years ago, when I was 11,
just a few years ago.
Yeah, a few years ago. They tested me for food, because I have so many food allergies. I have a terrible peanut allergy. And so they did this thing up and down both arms, and probably about 50 foods. And I swelled up for just about everything. The only two things I wasn't allergic to was beef and just barely slightly allergic to milk. Okay. So dairy products make a big portion of them, and beef.
No question.
But I eat other types of meats and stuff. But I generally keep my protein up around around close to 200, maybe a little under that.
Yeah, that's what you should do. But how do you keep it that high? What do you eat to keep those grams up that much?
Whey protein.
Yeah, that's instead of your meals too, of course.
Well, plus the meals, yeah.
Yeah.
But I use 4 scoops of Optimum vanilla whey. Mm-hmm. The gold standard, mm-hmm. and then I add a quart of non-fat milk, and that accounts for about 120 grams.
Okay. How many times a day do you have that?
Well, I break it up into three servings.
So you maintain size from that.
Yeah, because when I first competed mm-hmm. in 1978, and I was 45. I competed at about 100, weighed about 155, and that's about what I'm doing now.
That's great.
So now I have weighed as much as 215, but I had a 38-inch waist to go with that.
That's funny. When I moved here in 1969, I was at Bill Pearl's gym, and I was in really good shape. I was ripped. I was 213 pounds ripped, and I went to the gym today. This is 40 years later. And I'm 215 pounds, so nothing's really changed. I mean, I've gone up to 230, and I've gone down to 197, but the 212, 213 seems to stay. And people guess me at 185, 190. Oh, there's no way over 190, but I am. Yeah. And that's just the way it is. And my diet's like yours. I mean, I do the branched chain aminos, and sometimes the protein powder. But that branched chain aminos, I've been doing pea protein lately. Have you heard of that?
No.
Pea protein is made from peas.
Oh.
And it's really kind of a vegetarian protein. But it's full of aminos. It has a lot of properties like casein and whey protein. It's really good for your heart, your lungs, and your liver, apparently. And it's much cheaper than regular protein, but it tastes great. So I've been trying that for the past month and made some good progress with it. And it's something to try because it's been out a long time, but people are just getting familiar with it. So I like to switch things up because you get used to doing stuff. You get used to eating a certain way, training a certain way, and then nothing happens after that. It just becomes normal.
Sounds promising.
Yeah. I mean, how many days a week are you training?
I generally train no more than 3 days.
Okay.
Because I burn out. I burn out real quickly.
You don't even go to the gym on those off days?
No.
That's hard not to do.
Well, yes and no. I don't see how people can be trainers and stuff and be in the gym every day and workouters.
It's draining. It becomes so draining. I go in sometimes to do the bike just to do some, just get out of the house and mix with people because I get people from my show and it's all about socializing in media. And here in LA, you meet interesting people in the movie industry and in bodybuilding as well. So it's good for that. So now, what is your next plan as far as competing?
Well, as I understand it, to continue to be the Guinness World Record holder, I have to compete. So there's this one show that is just ideal for me because you have to be an IFBB member also. So if being an IFB member and then competing in the Pittsburgh Pro Masters, that is the absolute best for me because in order to compete in that show, you have to have either gotten your card through the teenage collegiate masters which is what the big show in July in Pittsburgh, or the North American, which is also in Pittsburgh, or the Team Universe. And if you don't have if you haven't gotten your pro card in that time, in those shows, you can't compete in this show.
Right.
And although I got a invitation to Italy, I said this must be some mistake. I'm 85 years old and weigh 155 pounds.
Hey, it's okay. You know, embrace it while you have it, and I really think you should go up till 90, maybe even more. You're training Gold's Venice?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. You know that you train there because you get exposure.
Yeah.
You know, not only do you get to see and how train, you know, the top people train, but you also get to be mixed with the regular people.
Right.
And for me, I draw strength from the people that say I inspire them.
Yes.
And it always amazes me why anybody would inspire anybody, because you know I compare myself with the top bodybuilders. I always do, because and you know you're never satisfied, and so it finally got through my head. It's not that I have this great physique; it's that I'm 85 and have any physique.
Well, you inspire me, because you've done a lot in your age. I want to be there too, and I've got another, you know, so many years, not that many. But I think everybody should have a goal, and
that's right.
You got to be there, and you got to do what you got to do. What else are you going to do if you don't keep yourself in shape?
At the Olympia that just was completed a couple of days ago, every winner, you know, all the women, the men, everybody. The winner they interviewed, and they all had the thing to say that, you know, they dreamed that they would be this, that they would, you know, be this sometime, and they you know, they worked and when they didn't want to work, they'd still work, and they just kept through the dream. And they said that, you know, you can have this dream. You can't nobody's all going to be Mr. Olympia, but you can train like you're Mr. Olympia, and you could be better, because that's the main thing that everybody was like at Gold's Gym, no matter who they are and what shape they're in, they're all there for one thing: to be better. And that's what the whole idea of bodybuilding is.
Right.
Is just be better than you were the
be
day
the
before.
best you can be.
Absolutely.
And all it takes is a little bit of drive and consistency, and you got to get off the couch and go. I mean, it's not, you know, there's mornings when we wake up and you wake up, I'm sure your body hurts, and say, oh man, I don't know if I can do any of this, but you go and you do it. You do what you have to do. You work your way through it. Other people will sit there and they'll say, oh, I'm not going to do anything. I don't feel it. You know.
You were telling me about the people that you knew from high school like that.
Yeah.
In one of our other interviews.
No desire to get up and get off the couch. Yeah. Some do and some don't. But you got to get up and go. I was talking to earlier, and I said your body is your instrument. That's the vehicle that drives you through life.
Absolutely. So
you have to take care of that vehicle. You have to oil it. You have to take your vitamins. You have to make sure you get checkups, have your heart checked, liver, all that kind of stuff. Exercise it to keep it mobile and put nutrition in it to keep it running good. And people take better care of their cars than they do their bodies.
Yeah, that's for sure.
And it's sad because your body is a one-time deal, and it's got to last you. Wherever you go, it's with you. You need to take care of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, that's why we live long, and we hope to do even longer.
Right.
What would be your advice in closing to any guys out there? Probably most of your age aren't here anymore.
Yeah, they either grew up or retired or died.
Or they're 6 feet under. What would your advice be to someone, say 60 on, that says, look, I'm tired of being out of shape and I want to get back in shape. What should I do?
Well, you should go to a good gym and train.
What if they don't know how to train?
Well, they get training stuff in the magazines.
They can mimic somebody.
Yeah.
Right? And they don't have to go heavy.
No, no.
You just need to work resistance.
Yeah.
And then switch up your diet. Write down what you eat every day. Eliminate those things that you know you don't need, even though you like them. And you can have those on a Sunday. But during the week, eat what works for you. High protein. And I always say low carb, because you don't need all those carbs. Those carbs are stored as fat. And a lot of people don't realize that. When I see things that say, oh, we have low-fat yogurt, I said, no, I don't want that. I want fat in the yogurt. I don't want any carbs in the yogurt.
Yeah,
right?
That's right.
Yeah, low-fat ice cream. No, put the fat back in. Take the sugar out. And people have misconceptions about that because the fat's not going to hurt you. That's what you need to burn.
Yeah, the carbs always are completely digested, and what you can use goes to fat. Right. The fat, you don't always use all the fat. It's there if you need it, right. And if you don't need it, it just goes out. And heck, there's nothing cheaper than fat.
Yeah, it's stored. It's not stored.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for being here. I know it was a trip over the hill for you. But is there anything else you'd like to add before we close out?
Well, I was talking at the Olympia with Tito Raymond, whose brother is Jose Raymond, and he was introducing me to Jose's the videoist, and he said, you know what, Jim's the only guy that ever got a pro card over 80, and then he says, but you should see him in the gym. He trains like there's no tomorrow. And so I was thinking, well, you know, at my age, there may not be.
There may not be. You got a great attitude. I was going to ask you one more thing about that. Oh, on the internet, are you have a website or a Facebook or anywhere where people can reach you?
No, I don't.
So you're incognito.
I'm incognito.
Okay.
That's one thing. When I am on the computer, I get a headache. My eyes just don't.
That happens. I know many of the older guys aren't computer savvy. They don't want to be.
Oh, yeah. And besides, I'm not computer savvy.
Do you text?
No.
No, I texted you. You never got back to me.
Yeah.
But he did call me. But I have 2 numbers on you. Well, thank you guys for watching Rick's Corner, and thanks for having Jim here. This has been really a treat. He has a lot to talk about. He's very, very bright. He's with it. There's no memory loss at all there. He's funny. He looks at life in a good way. He stays in good shape, and he should inspire all of you out there to be like he is one day, because he has set the example for me.
And be like Rick.
Yeah, shave your head.
You know, I'm beginning to lose from
We're
here.
going to take care of that today.
Oh.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, thanks
See you
a
next
lot.
time.
Drasin.com. He is the equalizer, baby. See you next time.